Hey guys, Morgan here, and these are my imaginary friends. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be taking some Quotev quizzes. So, for those of you who don't know what Quotev is, it's a site where you can make quizzes and write stories, basically. I've been on there since I was in middle school. Unsurprising, considering I still have imaginary friends. And if you're wondering what this gorgeous background music is, it's How the Garden Grows by Apoxipon. I'll leave a link to the video for it in the description. And we're gonna be playing this music while we take these quizzes. And by we, I mean my imaginary friend Raven Stillman. I'm gonna be taking this quiz as I think she would if she was real. So, we're gonna do a few quizzes here, but this first one is called Find Your Fantasy Animal BFF. So, this is supposedly gonna tell her whether her fantasy animal is a unicorn or a dragon or whatever. So, let's get started with question 1. Let's jump right into it. What trait do you think is most important in a friend? And the options are trust, loyalty, honesty, communication, fun, and freedom of choice. Well, since Raven is kind of a party girl, as you could tell by my introduction to her in my last video, I think, in a friend, I think that since Raven's group of friends in middle school, who she's still friends with today, are kind of known for being like their school's resident outcast group, I think probably trust, because obviously they're very close, they have a lot of faith in each other, and they've probably been through some bullying and stuff, so naturally, trust is an important thing for them. So, I'm gonna click trust. Now, sorry about that. I had to answer the door for someone, but they're gone now. So, question number 2. Which do you prefer, people or animals? Well, knowing Raven, she probably likes animals more. I know she loves cats and dogs and stuff, and she thinks more dangerous animals are pretty cool, so I think she would pick animals, because even though she does have quite a few friends, she can be a bit cynical with people, I think. So, animals. What characteristic would you want in yourself most? Goodness, beauty, or wisdom? Well, I know Raven doesn't care that much about her appearance, so goodness or wisdom? I think she would probably say goodness. She'd probably be like, oh, I already have plenty of wisdom, which, considering she's 15, she does. Which place is your dream vacation? Mountains, city, desert, caves, forest, or anywhere with my friends or family? I think Raven would probably pick... either forest or city. Because on the one hand, she thinks forests are cool. Well, actually, for vacation, she'd probably pick city. Because even though she likes the forest, I can't imagine her being a camping type. She's from New York, and she does like to travel to different cities when on tour with her band and go to art museums and stuff, so yeah, I think I'm gonna go with city. What is your favorite color? Oh, that's easy. Either black or red. And since black isn't on here, much to my irritation, I'm gonna go with red/orange for red. Fairies or mermaids? Well, I have fairies and mermaids in my imaginary friend group, so I can imagine this is gonna annoy some of my imaginary friends. But knowing Raven, I think she'd probably pick mermaids because fairies are a little too sweet and cute. So, mermaids. Pick a word. Happiness, friendship, confidence, freedom, power, and independence. I think probably either freedom or independence. She is an anarcho-capitalist after all. So, and she's in favor of libertarian unity, so probably freedom. Dreams or reality? Raven really likes the arts, so I think she would prefer dreams, especially since her favorite kind of art is surrealism. How many friends do you have? Averages. I have 1 or 2 real friends. I have a ton of online friends, but no one really personal. I prefer to be alone. I'm in a group of real good friends. I'm not saying. I'm a loner, but not by choice. I think she has, even before she joined up with us, she had 4 really good friends, so obviously I'm in a group of real good friends. Do you believe in fate? Obviously not. She's an atheist, and the only really spiritual thing she believes in is astrology, but even then she kind of likes to bend it sometimes. So, almost done. Are you an introvert, extrovert, or ambivert? Well, she is kind of cynical when it comes to people, and sometimes she does like her alone time, but she also loves partying with her friends. So, I'd say she's mostly an extrovert. I hope you liked this quiz. Destiny, haha. Fate, nothing. Give me the answer. Yup. Knowing her, she'd probably just say, give me the answer. And she gets a dragon. So let's see how close the other answers are. Ooh, she actually got a tie between dragon, griffin, and yeti. And then werewolf, then phoenix and unicorn at the bottom. So apparently, with a dragon, her friend will protect her no matter what. That's sweet, actually. Congratulations, Raven. You have a dragon protecting you forever. Which actually makes sense that there's 44 dragons in my imaginary friend group. So, let's take another one, shall we? let's do this one called Where Do You Go When You Dream? So, question 1. On a scale of 1 to 10, how romantic are you? Raven doesn't strike me as a romantic type. She is capable of feeling love. She's not aromantic, but she doesn't date often, so I'll keep it low. On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you? Raven is a lot more confident than emos are stereotyped as being. In fact, she's actually pretty damn confident. Not to the point of being arrogant, so I'll give her a 7 or an 8. On a scale of 1 to 10, how kind are you? Raven strikes me as pretty kind overall. Though she's not like a total sweetheart or anything, she does have a tendency to not do things for other people unless prompted. She's kind of like me in that sense. But she is generally pretty nice, so I'd give her probably about a 7. Which are you? Optimist, pessimist, or realist? She's definitely not a realist, I'll say that. And I think she's generally an optimist, though she is definitely mistrustful of the system. So, yeah. Optimist. And which are you? Introvert, extrovert, ambivert. We already said extrovert on the last quiz, so... Do you prefer your waking life or your sleeping life? I think she prefers her waking life. How often do you have nightmares? I'm gonna say... I've never thought about how often Raven has nightmares, but yeah, she does occasionally, I think, so I'll say hardly ever. Do parts of your dreams ever come true? No. When you're bored, do you ever just sit and make up a fantasy world in your mind? I'm gonna say sometimes, because she does love to daydream sometimes, though she's not super dreamy like I am. But anyway, question 10. Have you ever had a recurring dream? Note, I don't know the accurate definition, but I once had a dream where I was a teacher and I kept waking myself up because I hated it. But then it would go back to the same things over and over. One of the worst nights of my life. So, for this, I'm gonna say... occasionally. Do you ever dream about any of these on a regular basis? I'm pretty sure she dreams about monsters and maybe falling as well. And of course people she knows. I think I'll click that one, that one, that one. There. Have any of these questions made you feel uncomfortable? No, I don't think Raven would feel uncomfortable by any of these. Which fantasy animal would you prefer? Unicorn, dragon, yeti, demon, or mermaid? Again, we're gonna be pissing off some of my non-human imaginary friends, But I think Raven would prefer demons. She thinks they're cool. Do you believe in reincarnation? No, she actually does not. Have you told a lie today? I don't think she'd respond with any of these. She would probably respond with, yeah. She's pretty honest, but hey, people lie sometimes. Everyone does. So, she'd probably be like, why? Yeah, so, I guess. Describe what dreams you usually have. Dumb, colorful, empty, funny, boring, exciting, thrilling. I forget most of them. Sad, weird, traumatic, freaky, and dark. So, for her, I'm gonna say thrilling. And, oh, I can pick more than one. So, thrilling and weird. And maybe a bit dark as well. I could see that. Are you ready for your answer? Where does your mind really go when you sleep? Bring it, this kind of weirded me out. KK, bye-bye. Nope, sure. I think she'd probably say bring it. Did you think you were done? No, we still have 10 more questions. How does that make you feel? I think she'd probably be annoyed because she can see that there's only 3 more questions, so... I lied, we're done. Now how do you feel? I just looked down at the bar to see how far through I am, and... yeah, obviously that's the one she's going with. Last answer, promise. Tell me bye. Later. Keep silent. Goodbye. Bye. See ya. She'd probably just say bye. You're a completely average person. Your dreams are irregular and different and don't seem to be the result of anything bothering you. Congratulations on having your mind completely in tune. But doesn't it make you wonder who would you be if you were just a little bit different? Actually, never mind. Thanks for taking the quiz and I hope you had fun. So, yeah. Now, let's do 1, maybe 3 more. Because I'm having fun with this. But let's turn the music down a little bit, because I'm having to shout over it at this point. But anyway, let's do 3 more quizzes. Starting with, where does your soul live? This is just all my beautiful fantasy wallpapers made into a quiz. I love all of them, and I really hope you do too, and that you'll get somewhere you'd actually enjoy being. There are 12 results, by the way, in case you didn't catch that. So if you get a tie, well, that's 2 more awesome and gorgeous places. Let's go. I'm excited. Just so you know, I didn't read any of that. Sure. I'm excited, I think is what she would say to that. Are you a social person? We've already established that she is. Are you a morning or nighttime person? She loves the night. Are you more of a country or city person? City. Do you like exploring? Yeah, of course. Do you like fog and shadows? Come on, she's emo. Light or dark? Again, she's emo. Which of these is your dream vacation? Jungle, forest, beach, mountains, anywhere fun, city. So again, we're gonna go with city. What's your favorite season? Well, she's a big fan of Halloween, so fall. What's your favorite color? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, pink, black, or all? Obviously she's picking black. She's emo. Where would you want to live? A small village, a mansion, the streets, under the stars, or a cottage? Knowing her, she'd probably pick under the stars. Where would you time travel if you could? Future, past, I wouldn't. Yeah, she's kind of terrified and cynical when it comes to the future, but she's also kind of afraid of how messed up the past was, but she would like to see where the dinosaurs, so maybe she'd travel really far in the past. Do you prefer fantasy or reality? Fantasy. Describe yourself. Positively. Loving, loyal, confident, intelligent, funny, creative, hardworking, compassionate, optimistic, adventurous, enthusiastic, and adaptable. Well, I'll say intelligent. Oh, you can pick more than one. So I'll say creative, confident, funny. Anything else? She's generally optimistic, I guess. And enthusiastic, hell yeah. And, yeah, she's also pretty adaptable, so we'll go with all those. Describe yourself negatively. Unreliable, stubborn, arrogant, pessimistic, indecisive, sarcastic, impulsive, self-centered, jealous, and lazy. Yeah, she's a few of these. Sarcastic, impulsive, lazy. Yeah, she's definitely all of those. Oh god, my computer's messing up. Come on, computer, don't do this to me. Computer, don't fail me now. Sorry guys, my computer is being stupid. Ah, here we go. Maybe. Pick an element. Water, fire, earth, air, nature, electricity. Raven likes fire. Before you go, I just found out recently that Quotev is planning to deactivate messages, groups, and activity feed. I'm a fairly new Quotev user without much of any, but I do know that I want to work my way up eventually. Anyway, if you want to keep the old Quotev, please sign this online petition, which I already did, by the way. Or if you don't want to put your email up online, blah blah blah. Okay, that's it for now. I hope you guys like this quiz, and please sign. Bye now. And they all say I'll sign, which I already have. But later, so long, farewell, and bye-bye. I think I'll just say later. Apparently, she didn't get a tie this time, but she lived in the City of Shadows in the year 1665, and the climate is cold, foggy, and dark, and the atmosphere is dark, shady, and empty. Yup, that sounds exactly like Raven. So, let's do 2 more, shall we? Starting with... what fantasy village would you live in? Oh, another one of these. Are you excited to find your fantasy village? Yes. City or country? City. Night or day? Night. Fantasy or reality? Fantasy. Would you want to have a near neighbor? Yeah, she's pretty social. Which atmosphere would you prefer to live in? Laid back, social, simple, creepy, withdrawn, empty, secluded, carefree, and dark. Creepy and dark. That would be cool. What humidity do you prefer? Wet, dry, humid, soaking. She sweats pretty easily, so dry. What temperature do you prefer? Hot, warm, chilly, and cold. So, for this, I think she would prefer... Maybe chilly. Not cold, but chilly. What weather do you prefer? Stormy, sunny, cloudy. She likes stormy weather because she can sit inside and watch the rain and the lightning and whatnot, so... Pick an element. Nature, wind, water, fire, earth, or darkness. In this case, I think she'd pick darkness. Pick a superpower. Super strength, teleportation, flying, shape-shifting, super speed, invisibility. I think she'd pick invisibility so she could sneak into, like, the White House and the Pentagon and overthrow the government, knowing her. Pick a flavor. Sour, sweet, or salty. She's like me, she likes salt. What's your favorite color? And of course she's gonna pick black. What's your favorite season? Fall. And then there's the Quotev petition again. Alright, bye now. Bye, and I already did sign. Yeah. And apparently she'd live in Shadowvale, a chilly, stormy community with a creepy, dark, stalked atmosphere. That's pretty much perfect aside from the humid thing. So, yeah, way to go. And finally, we'll do one more. What element do you reign over? The dragons would appreciate this one. They are actually inspired by fantasy elements. Anyway, hi, are you excited to find out which element you rule over? Yes. What's your zodiac sign? Well, she was born December 31st, so Capricorn. What are your favorite colors? Black, red, purple. Those are her top three. What flowers are your favorite? This is quite a list. But, probably red hibiscus, and I think she'd like lavender as well, and the glory lily looks like something she would like. So, how about that? What jewels are your favorites? The only one here that looks like something she would like is obsidian. Which are your favorite celestial bodies? Now, she is into astrology. It's the closest thing to spirituality she's got. So, she's a big fan of... Yeah, a lot of people would choose Saturn, but she knows that Saturn is heavily restrictive, and especially for her being a Capricorn. So, she'd probably pick, like, Mars. And she thinks Pluto's cool just because it's dark. And also Uranus because it's the planet of rebellion. So, yeah, I think she'd pick those three. What are your favorite animals? Robin, bumblebee, unicorn, boar, fish, tiger, tortoise, bear, fox, horse, polar bear, or owl. There's a few of those she would pick. Tiger, owl. Obviously unicorn. And I think she'd also probably pick fox and polar bear. What kind of weather do you like? Again, stormy. And again, autumn. What superpower would you want? Flying, animal communication, invisibility, fire conjuring, time traveling, or super strength? Well, knowing her, she'd probably pick invisibility still. Even though fire conjuring would be a close second. And then, I'll just say later for this last one. And the element she reigns over is, out of all of these, and there's not even a tie, darkness. Domain of darkness is the kingdom. Color, black, blue. Climate, cold, damp, dark. Atmosphere, creative, mysterious, dark. The domain of darkness is what it sounds like, a dark place. This is the land where all worlds originated. You rule over a people who more or less rule themselves. Wow, that sounds like Raven. She's an anarcho-capitalist, after all. They create dimensions in their minds and set them free. Your life and world are mostly a mystery. Oh, my computer's messing up again. Sorry about that. But anyway, we're done anyway. So anyway, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. If you have imaginary friends, mention them down below. I'd love to talk to you. And this was a lot of fun doing something different for this channel. Anyway, I'm Morgan. These are my imaginary friends. And my computer is frozen.